Hey there. Welcome to Camp NaNoWriMo with the Harris County Public Libraries. My name is Molly, and I'm at the Crosby Branch Library.
I'm Erin, and I'm from the Kingwood Branch Library. We're excited to have you here with us today. We're going to be getting started soon with some prompts that will hopefully be fun and get those creative juices flowing.
As you write, you can either use a story that you're already working on, or you can just try the prompt with some characters that, whatever pops into your head, or if you're writing a fan fiction, you can use your fan fiction characters and just put those characters into whatever prompt comes up.
Camp NaNoWriMo is different from the regular NaNoWriMo, which takes place in November. In November, you try to write 50,000 words in the month. But in April, you can set your own goals, and it's just about setting aside time to write. Feel free to share with us in the comments about what you're working on right now. We'll go ahead and start. Today, I'm working on a swashbuckler novel that I started writing when I was much younger, maybe 12 years ago. So, how about you, Molly?
Oh, that sounds like fun. I like swashbuckling. I've been working on a story, but it's almost done, and I don't want to mess with that one. So I decided to go with a couple of characters that I've written a couple of stories for, and I'd like to write another one for them. I just hadn't taken the time to really kind of come up with some ideas. So I'm hoping this kind of helps me with these two characters. But it's kind of a fantasy story that I came up with. So I'm excited to give that a try.
Sounds like fun.
Right.
All right.
Well, we are going to go ahead and get started. If you start in with us, please feel free to add in comments. We'd love to see what you're up to, what you're writing, how much you've written during the prompts. So the way this works is that we're going to have the prompt on the screen. And like I said, use whatever characters you've got planned and just write anything that comes to your mind with, using the prompt, or just anything that you think of. The thing is to just write. So we're going to do a 7-minute sprint. And at the end of that time, we're going to come back and kind of chat about how we did. If you got a word count you want to brag about, or you can tell us a bit about your story or a couple of lines from what you wrote. We'd love to hear about it in the chat. So please feel free to join in.
Okay, so let's get started. Our first word prompt is, then the lights went out.
All right, I'm going to switch the slides. This is our first prompt. All right, then the lights went out. So we're going to have 7 minutes.
See you in 7 minutes.
All right. All right. All right, we are back. So I hope you had fun with that prompt. Please feel free to share anything in the comments. How many words did you write? Do you have a line or two you want to share? So let's see. Looks like we have one comment from Jennifer. Maddie from Southside said she's working on multiple WIPs, 2 novels, a concept, and 2 fanfics. Wow, Maddie, you're a busy writer. That's great. Well, we're glad you're here with us today, Maddie. So Erin, how did you do?
I got 120 words. And while we're talking, go ahead and share with us how many words you got and what you did. So how about you, Molly?
I did 264.
Wow, that's a lot. Would you like to share an excerpt?
I can. Let's see. So then the lights went out. Joy and Edmund were plunged into darkness. It was consuming and oppressive. Joy's first instinct was to grab for Edmund's hand. She reached his arm and gripped it tight. "I'm here," he said. His whisper sounded like thunder in the silent room.
I mean, the thunder got me too.
I think that our rain and thunder ambience really inspired us there.
Oh, and Amy has joined us late, but she got 139 words. I'll have an excerpt.
Okay, please.
Okay. The fire flickered out, and Lil laid back, listening to the rain outside. As a child, she'd been afraid of lightning, though she could not imagine why now. She'd been afraid of a lot of things as a child, but her older brother Lucas and Dimitri had always built her up. Later, when Paul had been the little one, she'd helped to build him up, too. Lilith wondered what her life might have been like if her brothers had been too old to find her interesting, like Quinn's. If no one had been there to build her up, would she still be afraid of lightning?
Oh, very nice. That was great. It took me a little bit of time to kind of get into the flow again, because one of these things with these writing sprints is that you don't want your inner critic to really just jump in and like, oh, you need to fix this. Oh, you need to fix that. And I kept finding myself going back and fixing words and making them better. And that's not what this is for. This is just to write. So.
Yes.
All
Just
right.
to get some words on the page.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Does anybody else have excerpts for us?
We're excited. We've got some people here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll move along. And if you want to add something later, if it pops up later, we'll read it after our next sprint. So let's go on to our next one. So this one is, Erin, did you want to talk about this one?
Oh, sorry. Our second prompt is use some or all of these words. The words are awful, spiral, paint, and helmet.
We're going to try and use at least one, and
maybe more.
Bonus everything. So, all right. So we'll see you in 7 minutes. All right, we are back.
So we have a few comments that came in while we were writing, and I'm going to read those excerpts before we get on to the next the next writing prompt.
All right.
So, oh dear, I have to scroll up. So I think this is from Amy. She didn't use the prompt, but because it didn't fit in her current scene. So what she's got is, so what's it like being a tree? Vixen asked, grinning at Jack from the back of her Pegasus. Jack glared at her. He should have never so much as breathed a word about his predicament last night. Well, that sounds interesting. But he had been tired and not thinking straight. Nice because people don't ask you questions that are better left unspoken. So prickly. Are you sure you weren't a cactus instead? Raven piped in. That sounds like a very interesting situation there.
That does. That's a lot of fun. And it's fun because I'm reading Amy's book, and so I know those characters. So it's kind of fun to maybe get a glimpse ahead at what might be coming for them. And then we also have another from Maddie. She wrote 141 words, and she says, then the lights went out. Zora took a deep breath to calm her nerves. She never experienced a power outage before, and being inside of a recording booth during one didn't help her nerves at all. Zora, Hakeem's voice called out to her, but unfortunately the room was pitch black, not allowing her to see him. She soon felt a hand on her shoulder, and she grasped at the contact. It's just me. The thumping in her heart relaxed as Hakeem's voice, as the brightness from him. Her heart relaxed. Okay, that's great, Maddie. That sounds really interesting. A recording booth, so maybe doing music. So, Erin, how did you do on this last one?
I only got about 100 words again, and they're not really very shareable. But how about you? How'd you do?
I did 246 words this time, and I only used two of the words. I used awful and paint. I couldn't figure out how to get spiral or helmet into the scene, but
I used awful and paint too, but it didn't. Nothing clever came up. So
I had a place where spiral was going to come in. I just didn't make it that far.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's see. Let me find it. Okay. I don't know. This darkness is awful. We need to get moving, Edmund said. It looks like the door is just ahead. They walked hand in hand with Joya holding up her candle. Edmund, look, she said, holding the candle to her left. Look at the painting on these walls. Aren't they intricate and beautiful? So I used painting, not paint. So a little cheat there. That's okay.
All right. Well, it sounds good though. You're continuing with the scene you had last time.
Yes, yes. We're just moving along.
If you've got any more comments and you want to share an excerpt, just go ahead and leave it. And if we don't get to it before the next sprint, we'll do it after, like this time.
Yeah. Yep. So keep those prompts or those comments coming in.
We do have one from Amy. She wrote 190 words this time around, but nothing as fun to share.
All right. Well, we're glad that you joined us, and we're going to move on with our next prompt then. So let's see, okay. Prompt number 3. I've gotten myself lost. Let's see. Where's that? Can we move our slide up ahead to number 3? Oh, there it is. Okay, great. All right, so prompt number 3 is, do you even know how to drive this thing? So we're going to move along with that prompt, and we'll see you in 7 minutes. All right. Okay, welcome back. So how did this one go?
I didn't get very many. I only got 50, but I did get a good quote. How about you?
I did about 152, and mine, it just didn't work. I tried, but I couldn't get it to really work. So I'd rather hear yours.
Well, I've got a couple comments from our last sprint, so I'm going to read those. And then, okay, here we've got from Dana. Mia took a deep breath as she strapped the helmet under her chin. It was a little big for her head. That's why she'd stuffed several socks in the space between her skull and the helmet's own cushioned interior. That would probably be sufficient. Okay, helmet, check. Glove.
Yeah.
Mia stepped to the edge of the treehouse's open doorway and considered her zip line. It went all the way down into the garden, and she'd pulled the couch cushion, pulled all the couch cushions out and arranged them so she'd have a place to land. Landing pad, check. This was going to be awesome. Let's roll, Mia said, and swung her body out into space. It turned out that the wooden hangers were not sturdy enough. It was an awful lesson to learn when halfway down a zip line. Oh, and I missed, I don't think I have the very end there.
Oh, I want to know what happens. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's a very amusing scenario there.
It is. I love that. So we also have Ash made a comment that said you didn't realize that you can set your own goals for Camp NaNoWriMo. And the program has her excited to pick up an abandoned story. Well, that's a lot of fun with this, is that it's just, the Camp NaNoWriMo is for just writing. It's just for fun, writing, keeping that going, so that when November comes around and you want to try and set that goal of, 50,000 words, you're not so out of practice. So yeah, that's what's so much fun about this shorter Camp NaNoWriMo, is that you get to choose your goals.
All right, let's see what else we've got. We have Jennifer. Oh, sorry. Manny Gaines says that their internet is not doing well right now.
We seem to be having some technical difficulties on many ends.
So we've got a few people having technical difficulties. Okay, I did say I was going to share.
Yes, please.
Okay. Dimitri, I understand why you might find the idea of becoming a pirate romantic, but there are some practical concerns, Lil pointed out. For one thing, I'm not sure you have the first idea how to steer a ship. I kind of went a little bit off with the do you know how to drive this thing, but
it worked. It was still that kind of that idea. There's also a comment from Amy. She said she wrote 215 words and didn't use the prompt because it didn't fit into the scene, and that's okay. These are just prompt ideas. If you've got something else you're working on, that's more important. So here's a few things. I decided to cause problems for my characters. That's great. Yeah, they need to work through stuff. Whoa, hold up there, Raven called out, pulling up his stallion and dropping out of the saddle. Jack frowned. What? The younger outlaw ignored the question, eyes scanning the ground. I saw, yeah. He knelt down, and with a soft hissing sound, a tiny knife shot through the air, grazing his shoulder. Another followed. Ooh, that's exciting. Definitely good problems for your characters. They gotta have something to do. All right, so are we ready to move along then? Okay. So this prompt's a little different. Go ahead, Erin.
This prompt is fill in the blank and continue the story. The blank rose up, forbidding and brutal, and it was and it was as if it had been waiting for me.
So for that first blank, there's a couple of suggestions: frost, ogre, noise, a cliff. But if you've got something better you want to fit in. So this is kind of fun because you get to choose how your prompt is going to start, and then it'll keep you going. So, do you know which one you want to use yet, Erin?
I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see if I can get something to shoehorn into my story.
All right. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll see you in 7 minutes. I was into it. I didn't want to stop.
That's great.
Yeah. I don't know how many words I wrote though.
So Jennifer Finch says that the frost thing really has a ton of implications for Loki.
That's fun. I have to admit, I don't know that fandom very well. So I'm going to have to learn about it one day.
I would say that Loki's probably one of the most fun characters in that fandom, depending on how you judge fun. But
I see memes once in a while, and yeah, he looks like he could be a lot of fun with that. So what did you end up deciding to use for this one, Erin?
I did something, but I put in the ogre. How about you?
Okay, I went with noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you said it went well, so you got a lot of words?
Yeah, I did 247.
That's pretty good for 7 minutes.
Stop in the middle of a sentence. So, but yeah, it was fun. So I'm having my two characters flee from this dark room, and so my character Edmund, he is an entertainer. One of his powers is to sing, and when he sings, it can have a very, it can affect the emotions of the people around him. And so they're hearing this noise, and Joya says, "Edmund, that doesn't sound like one of your songs." And he said, "No, it doesn't. Let's get moving." The noise rose up, forbidding and brutal, as if it had been waiting for them just to be close enough to get away that they almost felt safe. He snapped the reins on his wagon. The two horses started to move, but they were slow. "We escaped that hall too easily," Joya said. "The horses were too convenient. They must have been left here as part of the trap. They're slowing us down and making it easier for the Uncreator to catch us." The noise was all around her now.
Ooh, goodness.
Yeah, it was exciting.
So
did you want to share anything with us, Erin?
Okay. So there I was. The ogre rose up, forbidding and brutal, and it was as if it had been waiting for me. I looked to the left, I looked to the right, but there was nowhere to hide. Then, just as he reached for my Imogene, the first mate commented dryly, "I thought you had a task to complete." I have a character who tells a lot of tall tales.
Okay, that's great.
I was like, I can work with this. I can fix this. I can put this in.
I love the ogre. That's fantastic.
So Amy says, "I love Loki," and that Amy also says, "I wrote 235 words, but off topic again," and that she wanted to keep writing too.
I know those 7 minutes can go by very quickly when you're in the groove. Okay, well, let's move on.
I think we have time for one more.
Yeah, I think we can do one more. So this one is just kind of totally out of the blue. You can use your characters if you want, or just keep writing on whatever you want to. This is create and write about a ridiculous holiday. So I'll be curious to hear what holidays you can come up with. All right, so let's get going. Okay, so how did that one go? I can't wait to hear about your holidays. Let's see. Mine ended up being 315 words, so I was having a good time writing about this. And it looks like we might have lost Erin, so hope she comes back soon.
Okay, there she is. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
Like, where's my camera?
Those technical difficulties again.
Yes.
So yeah, I had 315 words. I'm writing that down. I had a lot of fun with this one.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, so you want to hear my holiday?
Sure, go ahead and share.
Okay, mine is National Toothbrush Day.
Nice.
So yes. What about you? Did you come up with a holiday?
No, I just went on writing something else.
Okay.
So I don't have anything to share. But I did get a few words in. I didn't actually check, but 100 or so. So that's
good. Great.
Yeah.
That's good. Any progress is good progress. If anyone else has any comments about a holiday or anything, I'd love to hear it, but we are going to be out of time pretty soon. So it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed our prompts and our time together, and I love getting to write, even when it's something silly like National Toothbrush Day. So
and we've really enjoyed seeing all of your comments. It's been nice to see some new names, and it's really exciting to see people engaging.
Yes. So it looks like Amy said she wrote 253 words, but no holidays. But I do have a holiday in my fictional world, Feast of Flight, which celebrates when the Pegasus and Outlaws first formed an alliance. Well, that's really neat.
Yeah.
It fits well into your world, so that's perfect. Well, anything else?
So there's going to be one more NaNoWriMo event with HCPL next Monday at 4. We'll have a question and answer session on editing and publishing.
Yes, so that should be a lot of fun and interesting. So if you've thought about what it takes to write a book, or you've written one and you're ready to go to that next step of editing and hoping to publish one day, then join us next week, and we'll be talking about those things and just kind of the experiences that some of us have had in our editing and getting things ready for publication. So join us next week at 4 o'clock.
Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thanks again. Have fun writing.